comedy cafe at trevshed.net. This is the North-South Divide. The North-South Divide with Trev.
He's visible from space.
And James.
He has all of Rod Stewart's albums, and Rod wants them back.
Hello and welcome to the fourth North-South Divide podcast. We're going to record this segment on vintage analog recording equipment to give a warmer feel. Start the tape, Trev.
Okay. Right, on this podcast we look into the matters that matter today.
Nicely put, Trev.
Thanks very much.
Like the story of the Reading man who, believing himself to be a firework, ran up and down the main street with a stick up his bum. Police have let him off.
And we'll be looking to see if there's a reason why the BBC feels the need to put its weather forecasters outside. Presumably because they believe that they have some viewers somewhere that don't know what the outside actually looks like. And
finally, we'll be looking into reports that people from the north of England have poorer listening skills than those from the south. Trev!
What? Sorry, I wasn't listening. Did you see what I did there?
Yes, we saw.
I'm not so sure that using this cassette tape was such a good idea, James. When did you last use this tape recorder?
1985, I think. He had Jet Set Willie on this tape before. Hello, this is my earnest voice. I'd like to make you aware that very shortly you'll be hearing the North-South Divide news jingle. That news jingle sounds like this.
Podcasting to an unsuspecting internet, this is the North-South Divide news jingle.
There's a new natural high being sought by the bored youth of Britain, and it's dust. Free at the point of use, low in fat, and easy to find. In a paper published by the Department of Stuff Going Missing, the headline report is that there has been a significant increase in thefts of dusters from households and industrial establishments across the UK in the past 3 months. Our reporter Kimberly Penge spoke to a number of youth in the street to hear their opinions while dodging the cars and traffic islands.
You join me in the middle of a zebra crossing in the centre of Luton, and I'm talking to the youth of the town in the midst of this congested high street. In fact, I've been here for nearly 20 minutes trying to attract their attention. One young man's iPod was turned up so loud he couldn't even see me, and at least 4 others mistook my enthusiastic gesturing and plastic tabard for that of an over-friendly chugger, and ran in the opposite direction, screaming for mercy. However, I've just tripped this young individual up, and as he brushes himself down hungrily, licking his hands, I'll take the chance to ask him, what do you think to his latest trend of inhaling dust for a legal high? What? Oh, never mind.
This is just the next fad in a continuing search for illicit legal highs. Last year, bored teenagers were experimenting with sniffing and smoking curry powder. The big story took place in August when the whole class of 15-year-olds in Gloucestershire was hospitalised after a domestic science on Indian cuisine went horribly wrong, and at least one pupil is still in a coma. What on earth is that? Oh,
We apologise for this break in the podcast. North-South Divide staff are currently investigating a malfunction in the joke quality management system, which went off a few seconds ago. It's recently been installed and must have had its settings set too high. Please do bear with us while we set it back to bottom of the barrel to avoid any further interruptions. Thank you. Now we return to the latest news with some less alarming stories. I think we're alright. Didn't go off. Great. James.
Trev.
Thanks. Reports are coming in of a large-scale theft of friction in several parts of Grantham last night, which has left the town almost uninhabitable. An area of 6 square miles has been rendered completely smooth, causing any vehicle, pedestrian or domestic pet that ventures into the newly flatted surface to be propelled to the edge of town and unable to return. Here's our reporter, Nigel Stenchpipe, who is on the scene for a bit. I'm here on the northern border of a once sleepy town whose dozy residents have been awoken from their sleepy slumberness by this rather scary and very realistic nightmare. Since the great big slide began, over 100 vehicles, mostly M&P Reg Rovers, have arrived just behind me, the occupants wearing a bemused expression of a pensioner who's misplaced his favourite hat. The coup de grace happened a couple of hours ago when a multi-storey car park slid across the ring road and collided with a branch of Superdrug, which, like a graphic demonstration of Newtonian physics in building form, was propelled at a velocity of 3x+1 down the high street, scraping up bollards, bus stops and minicabs on its way, finally grinding to a halt in the landfill site 2 miles outside of town. The physics police are now in attendance with stern expressions and important clipboards. The public are advised to avoid Lincolnshire.
The North-South Divide.
You're right, Debs.
Yeah, I've just been thinking. Just wondering what we could do today.
Oh, really?
What about going to B&Q, having a look for a curtain rail for the spare room? Some enthusiasm, please.
Okay, ask me again.
B&Q, look for curtain rail.
Hell no!
Trev!
What? You asked me to show some more enthusiasm and I did. Ow!
The North-South Divide.
I'm outside the magistrate's court waiting on a landmark case, and if this case is won, it could have a profound effect on British children's literature. The importance of this case could be immeasurable. Nursery rhyme books will quite literally have to be rewritten. To tell us more, here's the person who brought this landmark legal case, Mr. Bear. Thanks for making the time to talk to us.
No problem.
So why are you bringing this case, Mr. Bear?
Well, I thought after all these years, I thought it was time we had our say, that our side of the story was told.
Okay. Well, it's a well-known story, so why bring the case now? Why, after all of these years, have you decided to raise this issue?
Because I am sick and tired of the Bears being given a bad name. In all the tales of that fateful day, they have skewed against us. We have been painted in a very negative light, and it's time that we took affirmative action to correct this travesty of justice.
So that's why you're taking Goldilocks to court, a defenceless little girl, and you're suing her for defamation of character?
Yes.
You don't think this is all perhaps a little out of proportion?
No, I don't think so. Look, for far too long now, the story was about how poor little Goldilocks, while lost in the dark forest, went into our house, and then we scared the poor thing away.
You were seriously taking a small, innocent child to court.
That's my point. How many innocent children can count breaking and entering, theft and fraud amongst their daily routine?
Fraud?
Yeah, she isn't a real blonde.
Oh, good grief.
Look, she broke into our house after first checking we were around and proceeded to steal our porridge, food from our baby, and then she inflicted criminal damage upon my son's favourite chair.
Alright, I'm in agreement up to this point. So, what happened next?
Well, when we come home, we find the front door open, and when we go into the house, our food has been eaten. Anyway, we see the damage to the house, half-eaten food and a trail of destruction. Then we realise the person is still in the house. So I go upstairs first to protect my family, you know.
If that's the case, why does your wife's testimony claim that you pushed her upstairs first? Claim that you would go up, but your doctor giving you a sick note that expressly states you should avoid have-a-go-hero situations at all costs?
She must be mistaken. I then bravely proceeded upstairs, whereupon I saw her. As I got a bit closer, I realised she was just a little girl, and that she was asleep. I was just about to turn round to tell my wife, and I accidentally stood on one of my son's toys left on the floor. I shouted, Goldilocks jumped, saw me looking very angry, and ran screaming into the forest.
And the rest, as they say, is history. So you vehemently deny that you were intending to eat Goldilocks?
Totally refute it. I couldn't do such a thing in all conscience. Blonde girls are always more stringy anyway.
Oh!
What?
Hello, I'm the Reverend John Thomas, and I have a simple message for you all, my flock. I think you are, I think you might, all be a load of utter What?
The North-South Divide.
As you can hear behind me, there are the sounds of an idyllic British summer's day. The birds are singing merrily, happily lacking the knowledge that the peace and quiet is about to be shattered in a most unusual way. In fact, not only will the peace be shattered, so will several hundred banjos. To tell me more and explain what the blithering shonk is going on, I'm joined by Nigel Witherington, the chairman of the Banjos, or Objects Basically in Erroneous Situations, or to give it its acronym, Boobies.
Yes, boobies.
Right, so what do No, I'm not saying that. What does your association stand for?
Well, it came to me one night that the thing I disliked most on the whole world...
Apart from yourself, obviously.
Sorry?
No, nothing. Please continue.
As I was saying, the thing that I disliked the most of all the stringed instruments were banjos.
And who hasn't had a conversation like that after a few sips of the old falling down water, eh?
I never let alcohol pass my lips.
Ah, well there's your problem then. So what did you decide to do?
Well, I called a few like-minded friends.
A few? Come on, tell the truth.
OK, I called Norman, and we went down the village green after briefly stopping off at the music shop and the church hall. You know, to acquire all the banjos.
Well, obviously.
And as I said, we went to the village green and started smashing them. Over there, that's where history was made.
What, this curbstone?
Yes.
I am frankly surprised that a blue memorial plaque hasn't been erected.
We approached the council with regards to this matter.
Oh, and what did they say?
Well, I can't say on your podcast as children might be listening. Suffice to say that they wanted us to go away and take a male chicken with us.
I don't get that.
Well, anyway, over the period of the next 5 years, we end up where we are now.
Exactly where you started.
Yes, but there are more of us, a hardcore of banjo bashers, if you will. Our aim is to rid the world of the banjo menace by smashing every last one.
I see the sacred first banjo is to be smashed. Could you explain to us, please, Nigel, what's happening?
Surely. As you can see, Derek is lifting the first banjo slowly above his head like he is preparing to sever someone's head with an axe.
Ooh, nice simile.
Thanks. This banjo was chosen to be the first due to its historic lineage.
Oh, really? What's that?
It was once picked up by Lonnie Donegan.
Oh, good grief.
And he brings it down with a...
How a bit that hit me in the leg?
Now you can see why we are wearing protective gear.
You could have bloody warned me. I just thought you were a bunch of Nancy's.
Whatever could have given you that idea? This is a man's task.
Taking a harmless, if admittedly quite annoying stringed instrument and smashing it while wearing thick glasses, cricket shin guards, a pink tabard and yellow marigold gloves is not a man's task. Trust me on this. You are a complete bunch of banjo bashers and I'm standing for no more of this. Put that left-handed 5-string bluegrass banjo down. Don't you wave it at me like... Ow! Ow! Oh, I understand what the council told you to do now. They told you to cut...
The North-South Divide.
With a CV full of lies, you can get any job. It's surely how Eamon Holmes got where he is today. Anyway, I've recently been appointed as lifestyles expert in the man's issues section of our local paper, The Luton Trauma, and I thought I'd share some of the letters I've received with you.
Dear Uncle Melvin, my girlfriend says she's sick of me and never wants to see me again. What should I do? Cheers. Keith from Dunstable.
Dear Keith, when a woman says something, it's essential that a man takes it at face value. She's simply expressing her needs, and it will really help your relationship if you can provide for them. Therefore, my advice to you would be to give her a paper bag to throw up in, and then poke both her eyes out. I hope this helps. Uncle Melvin.
Dear Uncle Melvin, my wife keeps nagging me. I'm always playing on my Xbox 360 instead of helping around the house and doing all the jobs she's asking me to do. What am I doing wrong? All the best to you and yours, Keith from Leighton Buzzard.
Dear Keith, communication is the key to any relationship, and there's clearly something going wrong here. The problem boils down to the fact that you're not concentrating hard enough on your computer games. If you can still hear your wife, you're doing something wrong. A decent pair of headphones will certainly help, and perhaps in the long term, some protective headgear. I hope this helps, Uncle Melvin. And finally...
Dear Uncle Melvin, I'm having trouble getting women interested in me. I think it's because they think I'm fat and ugly. Is there anything I can do? Yours awfully and desperately and generally quite miserably, Keith Houghton Regis.
Dear Keith, I can completely understand that you might feel this way, especially after the recent revelations that even John Prescott can have 2 women on the go at once. Ugh. Anyway, the answer is simple. All you have to do is get into a position of power, such as the manager of a high street chain store, chief executive of a public utility, or deputy prime minister, and then use your magnetic influence to attract any shallow bint you want on the pretext of them becoming your researcher or personal assistant. Hope this helps. Uncle Melvin. Job's a good un. Do you know what? I think we should adopt stage names for each other, Trev. You know, obviously I'm very happy with the name I've got, but... You know, to get anywhere in this world, you've got to have a stage name. For example, Engelbert Humperdinck. Great choice of name.
It is. It's a great name, especially somebody from Leicester. As am I, of course.
Are you?
Yeah, I was born in Leicester, yes. Engelbert Humperdinck is a great name.
And I don't know what his real name is, but it can't be as interesting as that.
I just wonder what made him think that would be a good name to use. I'm going to change my name. I'm called, I don't know, Ray Johnson or whatever he's called.
Yep.
What should we call myself? I could call myself Flash Harris. I could call myself Johnny Stark or Jimmy Bomb. No, I'm going to call myself Engelbert Humperdinck. Where did that come from?
It's, you know, a name nobody could spell.
Or indeed want.
Exactly.
Humperdinck.
It's crazy. I've always wondered about the popularity of the name Marilyn. You've got the original cowboy.
John Wayne.
John Wayne's name's Marilyn, wasn't he? Marion. His name was Marion.
I was going to say, it wasn't Marilyn, it was Marion.
Oh,
yes.
right. Sorry, I've got that one up then, haven't I?
Marion Monroe.
Marion Manson.
John Wayne.
So you think you're a man, not with a name like Marion.
Imagine if Clint Eastwood was called Violet. Do you feel lucky, punk? No, I don't, Violet. Shut up. It just wouldn't work so well, would it?
No, because of course modern stars don't bother with that. They dispense of all. Robbie Williams, tedious. In fact, all they do is they take two first names and stick them together. Robert Williams, Chris Martin.
Yeah, I was going to say Chris Martin is the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's true of Elton John as well, isn't it?
True, yeah, but he picked that probably out of a box of names.
Some small compartment or crevice of some kind.
God, don't. So they've dispensed with the actual exotic names for themselves.
Yeah.
How else can they have an impact on the public? Well, by foisting it on their children.
Oh, I know what you mean. Famous people with stupid children's names, like the Beckhams. Was it Romeo and Brooklyn?
Romeo and Brooklyn,
That's
yeah.
child abuse. I mean, supposedly, was it where they were conceived or where they were born?
One was consumed in Brooklyn, the other was consumed. Was conceived in Rome. EO.
If you follow that logic, then Frankie would be, where she was born, it would be Dewsbury. Dewsbury. That would be her name. And Charlie's name would be Wakefield, or indeed Pinderfields.
My children would both be called upstairs.
I'm not going to ask if that's a conception or for the birth. Charlie would actually be called Gran Canaria for the conception, I think. I think we were abroad when that one happened.
Aren't they, Gran? Gran, your tea's ready.
I can't wait for her when she's older and she listens to this when she's older. It's going to give her nightmares.
I mean, obviously there's little enough imagination going on in Chris Martin's family with Apple.
Mm.
Or was it a sponsorship deal? I don't know.
His next child's going to be called iPod. Or Bono.
iPod Martin.
Been sponsored by U2.
How the hell does that work?
What, being sponsored by U2?
Sponsored by U2.
I have no idea. The NSPCC should be called. It's just calling your kid things like Zowie, Bowie, and...
Oh, yes. Dweezil Zapper.
Dweezil and Moon Unit and things like that. That's just wrong.
Yep, absolutely.
And they say, oh, it's because we're creative types. Yep. Yes, it's all right for the parent, but the child, he's going to get the crap kicked out of them at school for being called Windermere.
I think what should have happened is in the mid-70s, John Mellencamp should have been made an example of.
John Mellencamp, why?
Because he called his son Spack Wild Horse.
Spack Wild Horse.
I want to introduce my son, Spack Wild Horse Mellencamp.
The third. That's evil. What has that poor child done to be hated so much by its father? I mean, he surely must have divorced the mother or something.
Exactly,
there must be a reason
but yes,
for that.
He gets to the age of 12 and divorces the parents.
The North-South Divide.
Is that your brand spanking new Dell laptop then? I would imagine that's a yes then.
If you like that sketch, why not try these others that you might also like?
Have you got any change to spare for a poor homeless beggar, sir?
No, I'm sorry, I haven't got any change.
You big liar.
What?
Don't forget you're wearing your medal for International Most Change-Possessing Individual.
I'm not.
You big liar. Liar, your bum's on fire, your hair sticks up like telephone wire.
What do you mean?
Only a moment ago you were telling me how much change you had. That you had more change than you knew what to do with. And now you're telling this poor man that you've got none?
I don't have any.
Look, if I rattle your pockets...
Get your hand out of there.
If I threw you in the river, you'd sink to the bottom. You're so heavy that you're in danger of throwing the whole planet into an eccentric orbit.
Stop exaggerating.
If you look in this current Guinness Book of Records...
There's no need for that.
No, there is. Look.
Where?
There, under the caption, Man with the most change in his pockets. Whose picture is it?
I don't see the point.
Whose picture is it?
Me.
Right.
Well, would you give some money to a poor beggar, sir?
Sorry, I haven't got any change.
But...
Oh, shut up.
The North-South Divide.
So, of course, when the children grow up, they have the option to do what their parents should have done a long time ago and get themselves decent names. Which is the opposite of what many products did in the 80s. You take the likes of Marathon, and they went all Snickers on us.
I couldn't go in and buy two. You can't buy a pair of Snickers.
No. And Opal Fruits will always be Opal Fruits to me. And what's the other thing? Oh, of course, the very subtle Oil of Olay.
Oil of Ugly.
Yes.
Yeah, oil of Ulay, wasn't it?
That would be why it was.
Yeah, it was. It's the oil of ugly. Ugly oil.
Yeah,
and let's face it, there's a lot of women who don't need ugly oil. And men, of course, let's be fair about this.
Yeah, and they thought, oh no, that doesn't sound so good. It will make it sound like a Spanish cry of joy.
Oil of ole!
Didn't make much progress on that one.
Well, it was due to Spanish because they changed the name of Jif, wasn't it, to Sif?
Oh, right.
Because they don't pronounce the J sound. They pronounce it as a don't they? Like, instead of, military junta, it's actually junta, isn't it? In the original Spanish or
Hey,
Portuguese.
Juan, could you get the hif out?
Exactly. So do you want to buy the hif? This might not be true. It might be apocryphal, but I'm sure I read somewhere that hif is actually a rude word in some local dialect of Portuguese or Spanish or something. So obviously they couldn't call it that. It was like calling, I don't know, buying a packet of bombs or something. You wouldn't buy it. So obviously that didn't sell. So they changed the name over there to Sif. And
everyone else has to follow suit. So basically, if ever you want to release a product in another country, make sure it doesn't say something rude.
Yeah. There's actually a drink in Japan called Sweat. It's not. I'm not serious. I'm not joking. Pocari Sweat.
Is it salty?
I've no idea. I've never drunk it. I really wouldn't want to lick somebody's armpit for refreshment, personally. But
And they're the ones who come up with the new products. It's the same sort of process here. They come up with the new products, and they've got to give them a decent name. And of course, all the old names have gone because Opal fruits are now Starburst, and so you've got to invent something new. And if it hasn't got an exclamation mark by it now, it won't sell. And it hasn't got a Dayglow packaging. It's useless.
Yes, you have Dayglow packaging. Especially for sort of household cleaning products, things like that. The brighter, the more eyeball-searing the packet, the better. And the louder the advert as well, I've noticed as well.
Hi! I'm very loud! Buy my product! Sorry about that.
The thing is, it makes me not want to buy the product.
Exactly. This man's shouting at me.
I don't like him. Take him away.
Yes, I'm going to buy the Asda's own brand version, which is called something equally amusing, like I can't believe it's not Sillet Bang or Kaplooey.
I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe it's not better.
Exactly.
Which one they didn't go for at Asda, I noticed.
Exactly not.
So talking of rubbish name changes, just something occurred to me. The new Nintendo console has the most fantastic name as a project. When they're designing it, they call it the Nintendo Revolution.
Yeah,
just imagine the adverts that would have been for that. It would have been fantastic.
I can imagine that woman who goes around killing people. What's her name? Lara Croft. Doing the whole revolution, grey thing, circle, dynamic, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Revolution. So no, they don't go for that name, obviously, because that would be too good. They change it to Wii.
He said we.
Exactly. I'm not going to go and buy Wii. I'm not spending several £100 on Wii in specialist Wii shops. That's just rubbish. You can't ask your parents for Wii for Christmas. What would they bring you back? I know the whole point of being a kid, being a teenager, or an oldish kid, early teenager, is when you ask for something, your parents actually have no idea what you want, so they go into the shop and ask for it. Now, as a parent, I wouldn't want to go into a shop and go, "I'd like to buy some Wii, please."
Exactly,
because you look like a very strange person.
Yeah, and they deliberately make the packaging some kind of light yellow colour.
I'm taking the urine.
I've had a thought, incidentally. These cleaning products that contain small amounts of high explosive that when you put them down the toilet, it makes a chemical reaction and you have to have the lid down because it will blow up. I know why they're that colour. That was beautiful mental imagery of a toilet lid flapping.
I was going to say, it didn't work so well for you on audio. I do apologise. I had my hands like this, clapped together. I did a clapping noise like that. It looked very good, but obviously for audio, I probably should have thought that through a little more.
But getting back to the subject, I know why it is. Dino-Rod vans.
Oh, they're horrible colours as well.
Exactly. That's where it came from. You look at a Dino-Rod van, you think, my toilet would be unblocked by this van. So you find the product, Sillet Bang.
Same colour.
Exactly. My sink will be clean and shiny because of this product. And this man shouting at me.
Sillet Bang! My name's Barry Scott. What was that all about? Were we supposed to know who he was?
There you go. That takes us right the way back to boring names, isn't it?
Yeah.
This man has got two first names, making up his whole name.
That's very true. I thought that actually is a very good link. That's very clever indeed. Hello, I'm Barry Scott.
Hi, I'm Fifi Trixabel Geldof.
And I'm Spack Wildhorse Mellencamp.
And you're listening to the North-South Divide.
You have been listening to the North-South Divide from the producers of My Wombat is Missing and Third Nipple on the Left. It was written and produced by James Hart and Trevor Shipp. The Beggar sketch was based on an idea from Dave Court and Tom White. Vocal talent included Trevor Shipp, James Hart, Debs Clark and that bloke off of Jossie's Giants. Due on your MP3 player this fall, the North-South Divide 5, The Reckoning. It will not be a hastily cobbled together hot pot of disjointed ideas to cash in on the success of previous North-South divides. Oh no, we wouldn't do that.
No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast. Oh, I forgot about the sheep. Almost no animals were harmed in the making of this podcast. One was fondled slightly, but I have given Trev his medication, so that shouldn't be a problem again. The North-South divide is not tested on animals and is against animal testing and actively looks into viable alternatives for testing comedy. We currently have 3 bus drivers chained to a radiator and we are tickling them as I speak.